Well, what kind of development would you like to see in the county? The Prince George's Planning Department is working to update its zoning laws, and they want to hear from you. CTV's Sonia Shrivastava is standing by with more.
Well, that's right. We're being joined by Countywide Planning Chief Dekric Berlage, and he's going to explain to us why the county is trying to rewrite some of its zoning laws. And Mr. Berlage, thank you so much for joining us. Now, tell me that there was a recent study done on all of this, and what did that study conclude?
Well, the first thing that it's important to understand is that one of the most important things local governments do is help to decide what kind of real estate happens and where it happens, and make sure it happens in a way that maximizes benefits for the community. And the most important tool that we use is our zoning ordinance. But our zoning ordinance is more than half a century old, and it was basically written at a time when the county was changing from farmland to suburbia. We're a very different county today with many different types of development, with metro stations, with truly urban areas beginning to develop. And what we've learned from our consultants and others is that we need a new zoning ordinance in order to keep up with the great 21st century development that we want to see.
Now, folks out there are going to have a chance to share some of their thoughts on all of this, and you're planning on having some listening sessions. So what are you really hoping to hear from the public?
Well, we want to hear from the public what kind of development they would like to see in the county, and how we can best use a new zoning ordinance to attract that kind of development. We also want to hear about concerns about incompatible development. We know sometimes new development, especially when it goes into existing neighborhoods, can cause problems. And we want to make sure that as we grow our tax base and as we get great metro-oriented development in Prince George's County, that we do it in a way that protects our existing residential neighborhoods. And so we're going to be looking at all of those things. One of the things that we're trying very hard to do in Prince George's County is make better use of the 15 metro stations we have. Other counties in the region have begun to see significant high-rise mixed-use development and cultural amenities at many of their metro stations. In Prince George's County, that's just starting, and we want to get more of that. But one of the things we find is that when you start to talk about higher buildings and more dense development at a metro station, there are neighborhoods that surround that metro station, many of them older neighborhoods. Some of them may date even to the early part of the 20th century. And so how do we get the great development and the great cultural amenities that our community wants, but still take care of those neighborhoods? And one of the ways that our consultant is recommending that we do that is to create a set of very strong neighborhood preservation standards that ensure that where the neighborhood and the new development come together, there's going to be a good buffer, there's going to be buildings that aren't too tall. We're going to make sure there's not noise going on late into the night.
Tell me, what is going to happen once these listening sessions have been done? Where do you go from there?
Well, a zoning ordinance rewrite is a very significant project. I mean, it's almost like trying to rewrite the tax code. It's such a lengthy document, and it's so important. So we want to make sure we get it right, and we want to make sure we listen to every element of the community. So we're going to have large public meetings. We're going to have focus group meetings with individual citizen groups or developers or architects who have special expertise. And then when we've gotten all that input and feedback, we're then going to start the process of drafting the new code. But we'll send it out to the public in chunks, get feedback on the drafts before anything gets introduced. And by the time it actually gets to the county council for formal consideration, we hope to have a lot of community buy-in.
At the CAB building in Upper Marlboro, I'm Sonia Shrivastava. Back to you all in the studio.
Thank you, Sonia. For more information, you can log on to zoningpgc.pgplanning.com.